Seton Hall fall sports are in full swing here in the month of October, as all teams have a genuine chance of making a playoff push. This means that the basketball season, which is so big here at the Hall, is just around the corner. On today's Hall Talk, we're going to deviate from what we normally do and go a little bit off path, as we have a guest here who's ready to talk all things Seton Hall women's basketball. On today's special edition of Hall Talk, it will be the interview series, so stay tuned for a brand new show coming up next. My name is Louie Pasculli, and this is Hall Talk Interview Series. Hello everyone, my name is Louie Pasculli. Welcome into Hall Talk today. I am joined alongside Seton Hall women's head basketball coach Tony Bozzella. And coach, we have a lot to talk about with recapping last season as well as previewing this upcoming season. But first, I just want to ask you, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Lou. Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to be here, talk about our wonderful women's basketball team to the whole Pirate community.
Absolutely. I'm here, happy to be here as well, talking with you about it. So first, let's talk about last season. So this is a team that made it to the second round of the Big East tournament. They ended up losing to Creighton by one. It was a very close game. I can remember rooting very hard for them while they were playing. And that season was good enough for a WNIT berth. A similar situation, won in the first round, lost in the second round. So just give me your overall thoughts and feelings about this team last season.
You know, Lou, it was a great season. I was really proud of the girls. We fought through a lot of adversity, a lot of injuries. But it was very up and down. We were very inconsistent. We started the year off, we struggled a little bit. We lost two very close games here to Princeton and Columbia. Then we go to a tournament in the U.S. Virgin Islands. We beat two Power 5 teams in Wisconsin and Georgia. We win 10 out of 11, beat Marquette here. Sweep St. John's, which was undefeated and ranked when they came into our gym. We won by almost 30 points, playing really well. And then we hit a rough patch, and we didn't really overcome that. We lost 4 in a row. We struggled defensively, scoring the ball. And, you know, then we just were like 500 the rest of the year. We didn't play to our potential. The Big East quarterfinal game was a great game. We lose on a tip-in at the buzzer, you know, in overtime. So, you know, I was just proud of the kids. We played our hearts out, Lou, you know, and then, you know, we just came up a little short.
And among the players lost that season who either transferred or graduated was Lauren Park-Lane and Sydney Cooks. Lauren Park-Lane, there's not enough adjectives in the dictionary to describe how well she played. And Sydney Cooks had a big impact, had nice chemistry with Lauren as soon as she stepped on the floor, really, for Seton Hall. So talk to me about how hard it is to lose players like that. Also, coaching staff, Lauren DeFalco, stepped away. So how hard is that?
It was hard. I mean, you know, Coach DeFalco had been with me all 10 years here at Seton Hall, 3 years at Iona before, and she coached with me. And I coached her for 4 years. I mean, it's 17 years. You know, she was great, a huge part of the success we had at Seton Hall. But she moved on to the administrative role at another great college, and I still talk to her every day. She's still our biggest supporter and fan. And the two players, I mean, listen, you know, Sydney Cooks came in here, scored 1,200 points in 2 years. I mean, you know, she did so many great things. You know, a wonderful person on and off the court. I miss seeing her every day. I really do. And you're right. There's not enough adjectives to talk about Lauren Park-Lane. We could be here for another half an hour. Competitor, tremendous player, great personality. Loved to play basketball. I mean, she led the country in minutes played 1 year. You know, she graduated as well. I mean, she had 1 extra year. She decided to use it somewhere else, and we wish her a lot of luck there. But she gave us 4 great years here. We're also thankful as a coaching staff and a community for what she's done, and we wish her a tremendous amount of luck. And we lost Maya Bembry as well. She graduated as well, and moved on to a different grad major that we didn't really have here at Seton Hall. And, you know, those 3 kids started and played a lot of minutes for us.
Absolutely. And it seems to be the theme of this offseason is turnover, where a lot of players have moved on. So from last year, only 5 players are returning this year. What are you and the coaching staff doing to account for this?
Yeah, like we lost a lot. Like you said, there was just a lot of things that factored into it. 7 of them graduated, so obviously we're excited for them. They all received their diploma. It's just been unique. We brought in 9 great kids, 3 freshmen, 6 transfers, and the 5 returners, Lou, are solid basketball players, but great people. I think Amari Wright's going to totally blossom as one of the best point guards in the Big East. I really do. Shea Higgins was a starter for us. Zana Baines is one of the best players in the Big East, if not the country. She played on the USA 3-on-3 team representing our country. Shaylin Pinckney had a really good freshman year. Statistically, it doesn't seem it. She played really well. She started a lot of games on a really good team. And Kay Satterfield played on the Puerto Rican national team all summer and really has dedicated herself and is playing great. She was a top 50 player coming out of high school, and she's playing at that level right now.
And let's talk about some of those people, or some players who have returned. You mentioned Kay Satterfield playing for Puerto Rico, Azana Baines for the United States with the 3-on-3 tournament. How do you think that will impact their play coming up this season with the experience they have playing for their respective nations?
It's a great question, Lou. It's so unique to represent your country and play on a different level of basketball. I mean, you're playing against women. A lot of these 3-on-3 and 5-on-5 tournaments against 25, 30-year-old women. So you better raise your game.
Oh, yeah.
And I see it in practice now. I mean, Azana is one of the top 5 players in the Big East. There's no doubt in my mind. And Kay, I really believe can win the most improved player. I mean, she's playing with confidence. She's in great shape. She's learned a lot playing overseas against different levels of players. And I think those two are going to have breakout years. I mean, Azana's going to be a star. She is a star. There's no doubt in my mind.
And we saw Kay Satterfield put in good minutes last season, as you mentioned. But I want to talk about a sophomore now. Shaylin Pinckney, as you mentioned, had a really good freshman year, and she will be back on the team, one of the 5 returning players that I talked about earlier. So how important is it to get not only her to produce, but the younger players on the team to help out and produce as well?
Yeah, your questions are spot on. I mean, Shay had a really good year. She's got to do a great job defensively first and foremost, because she can. And offensively, she's got to become more aggressive. I told her last year she was very, she passed the ball. She was very, just fit in really well. Wanted to be a glue kid. This year, we really need her to score the ball. And I told her, Shay, you got to have that edge and you got to be tough. But she's got all the talent. She's a great kid. She works really hard. I'll be honest with you, Lou. I think she's going to have a breakout year for us as well.
And that's great to hear as we are rooting for the Seton Hall team to do well. We talked about this offseason, talked about last season. Let's preview next season. So there are some schedule changes, more out-of-conference games, as well as only 2 games at a neutral location and 2 less Big East games. So how are you feeling about these schedule changes?
Lou, we did the 2 less Big East games. We used to be round robin. We used to play everyone, 20 Big East games. Now we only play 18. And as all the coaches, we thought this would be a good idea. It might help us to get more at-large teams. We wouldn't beat up on each other as much. But after doing the non-league schedule and trying to find 2 more games, I think a lot of us are just like, I think we might go back to 20 eventually. Okay. I mean, it's hard. You don't know. And let's see it play out for a year or 2 and see how we do. Because we do want to get more at-large teams, because obviously with UConn in our league, they're a tremendous power and stuff. Our non-league schedule is really tough. I mean, we're on the road for Princeton and Columbia, 2 teams that are perennial postseason teams. We're playing in a great Baja Mar tournament. We play USC, a powerhouse, East Carolina, a team that wins the NCAAs. UNLV is coming into our gym, and we really need everyone's support for that game. They were ranked 24th in the country last year. We have some other good non-league games. My former employer, Iona, coached by my former point guard, is our opening game. And they play tough. They made the NCAA tournament last year as well. So, we have a lot of good teams on our schedule. It's going to be a challenge for us. And we better figure it out and learn to play together quicker than other years where we could just figure it out as we went along. This year's team's got to figure it out right away. And
what are your expectations for this upcoming season, Coach?
I gave the young ladies this story. And, as you get older, you learn every day. I wish I had enjoyed the process and the journey a little bit more the past few years with Lauren and Sydney and Andra Espinoza Hunter and Maya Bembry and some of those kids. And I didn't. We were always like, we got to make the NCAAs. We got to make the NCAAs. And I didn't enjoy the journey because we had a lot of great wins. I mean, you know, we had sold out crowds. Our fans were amazing. The environment was so much fun, Lou. I really enjoyed it all.
Yeah. I've
looking
been in that Walsh Gymnasium. When it gets loud, it's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah. But I didn't. I wish I enjoyed it a little bit more. So I tell the young ladies, let's just enjoy the process this year. We have a great bunch of young ladies. They work really hard. Amari and Azana and Shay Hagens are great leaders. They come to practice every day. No one works harder in like 30 years than those guys. I just want to enjoy this process. But I do think if we play the way we're capable of, defend, be committed to what they have been so far, I think the sky's the limit for this team. This team is, you know, really solid. We have great depth. We have a lot of good basketball players, and we have a couple kids that can really blossom in the stars.
And one final question, Coach, we have to know, are there any pregame either rituals or superstitions that you do before a game?
Yeah, I always go to the bathroom because, you know, I'm 57, I gotta go. We always sit on the stairs in the back behind the curtain, and we all talk. And then I do love that we have Jess from Varsity Catholic and Father John that lead us in prayer. Mm-hmm. And that is a pregame ritual that, you know, we take very seriously at Seton Hall. We're very proud of our kids. And before I go out, if my family's there, I always want to acknowledge them. I did have one thing right before tip. I would always, you know, hit my assistant Lauren right in the leg and be like, all right, here we go. And she'd hit me back. And now I got to find someone else to hit before the game. But, you know, that's a little pregame ritual I have. And I always give Kay Satterfield a hug.
That's cool.
So, you know, those are the little
Very
things.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sure that's something that you'll figure out for this upcoming season. We wish you the best of luck. Coach, thank you again for being on. We appreciate it so much. Any last words here before we close out?
Thanks for having me. I told you, you guys do a great job, young ladies and men, of really running a great TV station here. And for me to be on, I'm blessed, and I thank you, and I'm excited to really have everyone come out and watch our ladies play. We're going to play exciting, tough, physical basketball, and I got to tell you, we're going to be very good.
That is good to know. Everyone better be packing Walsh Gymnasium when the season rolls around. That'll do it for this episode of Hall Talk. Once again, my name is Louie Pasculli, joined alongside Seton Hall women's basketball head coach Tony Bozzella. Please make sure to check us out on social media as well as YouTube. Stay up to date with all things PTV, and we'll see you next time.